Gender equality has been a major issue in our communities and even in our nations. And particularly in Kenya, we have an issue with gender equality because even the third gender rule is actually not being implemented, and rather it's not even being embraced in our national government. And women representation in parliament is actually a question. Are all women actually being represented in this? So today we have here a young woman by the name Jackie, and she is working with widows, and we want to understand why are you working with widows and why this particular group of women in the community.
Thank you for that question. So to begin from a national level, you've talked about the who is not being represented, and we see the national government having programs for vulnerable people, particularly the disabled, the orphans, the elderly, but there are no programs for widows. And if you look at community level, you find that widows are very vulnerable, whether it's from cultural norms or it's from economic systems that emerge in different communities, and despite this vulnerability, their vulnerabilities, widows seem invisible, not just in their own communities, but they're also at the national level. And this is what has sort of steered my organization, Konyango community-based organization in Kisumu, to think about how do we then empower widows in a model that ends up empowering the whole community.
Being that you've worked closely with these women in your community, what impact have you seen and what are you hoping for?
So we brought the widows together last year and tried to create an environment for widow-to-widow support. And over the past year, we've really seen amazing activities led by the widows. So for example, widows have renovated houses for each other. They've helped each other build their own farms. Right now they have a farm harvest savings, sort of where they put their harvest, a little bit of their harvest together for when any one of them has an emergency. They visit each other who are sick, those who are sick, and all these activities, were not happening before, and these have been a huge source of encouragement to some widows. They talk about building friendships, being more happier with their lives, and we want to take those activities and move them forward. So what we are planning to do beginning next year as an organization is implement a leadership and literacy training curriculum for the widows, and that is meant to amplify their voice in the community in a way that is not ostracizing anyone else, but in a way that is thought-provoking and causing people to think about what are these cultural vulnerabilities.